The NBA playoffs are in full force. The first round is over, and the real battles are beginning now.
In honor of playoff time, DraftKings Sportsbook has an offer that's just too good to pass up.
All new customers can place a $5 bet on any team and get $150 in free bets if they win. It's not often you get 30-1 odds on any basketball team to win one game.
DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet with the NBA same-game parlays. We're back this week with an all-the-smoke same-game parlay fresh off our win last week. Go over to the app now and see our picks.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code SMOKE. Bet just $5 on any basketball team and get $150 in free bets if they win. That's promo code SMOKE at DraftKings Sportsbook.
2001, you was preparing for a comeback. Talk about that.
Yeah, the surgery, right? You go take the surgery, you go down and work with a specialist in Birmingham, Alabama, you get right, you come back, go up against the likes of Jim Harbaugh, who ended up being my backup. I win the job. I go down to Atlanta in our last preseason game and ball, right? 9 for 9 on the first drive, a touchdown, get handed the job. Cover Sports Illustrated, right? Back from the brink, And we weren't very good. I wasn't very good. I didn't understand what kind of work ethic it took, especially when things got bad. And I didn't realize what I was starting to develop was a mental illness, depression, right? Because I felt lazy. I was having a hard time getting out of bed. I felt sad all the time. I wasn't enjoying what I was getting to do, which is what I loved to do since I was 4 years old, right? I didn't understand it. I just thought I was weak. And so after that comeback didn't pay out, and I popped around from Tampa to Dallas to Seattle, I just thought I was so sick and tired of getting beat up, both physically and mentally from critics and everything like that. I thought I'd be able to disappear.
Drained? You was drained?
I was just physically and mentally done. But I thought I had all those things that still made me a success: the money, power, prestige. The prestige was going to be tarnished a little bit now because I wasn't a starting NFL quarterback, but I was still a former NFL quarterback. Come on now. I'd still walk me into Vegas and get everything I need and want and all the notoriety. I liked being famous, right?
Yeah.
I didn't care if it was for negative or positive things at that point. People looked at me and I was a rich, famous person. So, fuck them.
You hurt your wrist, setback.
Yeah.
What was going on there in your mind? They like, now this shit.
I just figured I just thought I was never going to be the guy I was again. And that wasn't okay with me. I also had this mindset that, like, if I'm not a starting quarterback, then I can't play. When I realized that you tell me you can pay, like, these backups now, they make $7-10 million a year, and they never take a snap. There's a bunch of guys that have played like 10, 12 years that I have more touchdowns and more passing yards than, and they've made $50-60 million in their career.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Right.
But that was available to me if I would have just chosen. Instead, I'm in Seattle. Then I walk into Mike Holmgren's office and I said, I'm done. I'm out. Out after 4 years, right? Thing I wanted to do since I was 4 years old, because I couldn't tell him, like, I'm really struggling here. Damn. I can't get out of bed. I'm lazy. And you would have hoped he would have looked at me and said, all right, let's figure it out. Let's get you some help. Maybe I'm the starting quarterback in Super Bowl 40 against the Steelers. Who knows? Who knows? But I wasn't capable at that time of asking for help, and I just figured I'll be fine. Football will go away. People forget about me, and I'll just live this lifestyle.
Wow. So you walk away after 4 years. Where, if you don't mind sharing, like, the drugs came in and how deep did you get into drugs?
Yeah. In Vegas, about 3 months after I quit, we're at the MGM Grand. I think it was a De La Hoya fight or something like that. You guys have been to Vegas for fights.
Yep.
Have we?
Maybe the coolest thing,
The energy
or the
is
closest
crazy.
thing to, like, the adrenaline in the room and everything like that leading up to it. And I like that. And I like Vegas because I wasn't the most famous guy in Vegas, so I could kind of go and do whatever the hell I wanted, and people really weren't focused on me.
Float under the radar.
Yeah, and so we're there, and when they give you those great seats ringside and stuff, they announce who's in the audience.
Right.
So they announced there was Tiger who was in the audience, there's Charles Barkley and Dr. Dre and all these. The audience just went nuts, and I'm just kind of like, don't don't fucking say my name. Man.
Don't fucking say my name.
And they'd say my name. And that whole Grand Garden Arena fucking booed and hissed. And it's not like that hadn't happened before. We go into an opposing team stadium, you know.
It's supposed to happen there, though.
Right. And you have armor on when you're playing football. Like, and you can go out and do something about it. Well, my addict mind, because I was a drug addict long before I ever took a drug. I believe that. My addict mind heard not only you were a terrible football player, but you were a shitty human being. That's what I heard. And sure enough, an acquaintance of mine that night at a party where there were Super Bowl champions and Hall of Famers where I always felt less than and judged, offered me some Vicodin. Now, I'd taken Vicodin my whole life after surgeries. I knew what it did. It worked. It dealt with my physical pain. This would be the first time I took it for my emotional pain. And they're called painkillers for a reason, man. It did. It didn't make me feel better. It made me feel nothing. And I've been searching for that feeling of not feeling anything for so long. And I found it. And that would be the next 8 years of my life, guys. Just chasing that initial, like, not feeling the guilt and shame of who I'd become or what I'd done or what I was going to have to do, all of it.
I had friends in high school that got addicted to painkillers, from Vicodin to Norcos, and, you know, I'd see kids take 20 Norcos. Like, how was it that heavy?
I had to take 100 milligrams, so yeah, depending on what kind of potency it was, right? Man. I'm just surprised my liver didn't crap out from all the Tylenol that was in that. And I didn't search for anything else. Like, I didn't move on to heroin or something. Like, I liked what
it made you feel like.
That made me feel like. Like, I wasn't looking for uppers. I wasn't looking for coke or anything like that. I felt like I was already wired. I wanted to be sedated. You know, I didn't want to feel anything. I didn't want to feel all that failure. I didn't want to feel when people booed me or told me I was a piece of shit or a bust. I didn't want to feel any of that stuff. And this worked. Now, it goes away quickly, and that's what tolerance does and what your addiction does. Then I had to chase it. And I had to chase it so I didn't feel that way ever. And I would look in the mirror every night thinking, you fucking junkie, you piece of shit. But the only way to get rid of that
take more.
Is take more. Because then you don't feel like it. It's this vicious cycle, the psychology of it all. And I would find them. I ultimately started breaking into houses, right? Around my hometown to find these pills because I didn't know a drug dealer. And they were in my hand. They weren't even in my system, but they got in my hand. I'm leaving a house. I'm getting in my car going. They were in my hand, and I knew everything was going to be okay for 6 hours, right?
Right, for a little bit. So, arrested on burglary, theft, drug charges in your hometown.
Bad criminal. I'm a bad criminal.
How does it, are you still so much in a fog that you don't realize, like, damn, like, I was the man here, got out, now I'm back in my hometown for the wrong reasons, doing the wrong things. Did it hit you then or hit you later?
Nothing hits you then because all you're chasing is that. You don't care what the consequences are.
Just chasing that high.
You're ultimately, the ultimate not feeling anything would be to die. Then I wouldn't feel anything ever again.
Damn.
So I was like, at that point, after I got arrested on a Friday, and I bonded out because I was so fearful. But then I didn't have pills. And I had to go figure out it, and I couldn't figure it out. So I Googled how to kill myself. I slit my wrist. You can see the scar still there. I see it every day. It's a reminder. It didn't work. I went and found more pills. I took them and got arrested for the second time in 48 hours. And then I wouldn't get out after that one. So I spent 32 months in prison.
And that's where you kind of felt like you hit rock bottom and there was nowhere up.
It wasn't even that, you know. I almost felt like that, okay, this is where life is. So I don't think I ever hit rock bottom, to tell you the truth. Okay. I think rock bottom is when you don't get back up, when you are gone.
Yeah.
That's rock bottom. You know, I bounced. I didn't, and it, for how long ever it took me to figure out how to be a human being, it took what it took. And so, and luckily I'm still here because a lot of guys, and in particular, I think that the fact that I was famous and the consequences were quick and severe and the spotlight was on me, I feel like it saved my life because there's so many of my peers or people who go through what I went through, do it in the shadows or do it in the dark, and then they're gone. And no one knows.
Right.
And so, you know, a lot of people say to me like, hey, you know, that must have been so hard to do in the public eye. Yeah, but it probably saved my life. Because
Right.
if it would have been in the dark and no one would have seen it, I would have been dead.
Right.
Yep.